Love is a paradox, a mystery that defies all logic and reason. It flourishes in freedom and withers in captivity. It blooms in the wild gardens of spontaneity and dies in the manicured lawns of social convention. And nowhere is this paradox more evident than in the institution we call marriage. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, give me a like, comment below about your thought and hit subscribe button so you don't miss any video inspired by Osho's teaching. Thank you very much. When two people fall in love, something magical happens. There is a meeting of two souls, two energies that dance together in harmony. The woman looks at the man with eyes full of wonder, and the man sees in the woman a reflection of the divine. They are drawn to each other not by duty or obligation, but by an irresistible force that transcends all understanding. In those moments, they are not thinking about contracts or ceremonies, about legal documents or social approval. They are simply present to each other, alive in the moment, celebrating the mystery of their connection. But then society enters the picture. The family arrives with its expectations. The priests come with their rituals. The lawyers appear with their contracts. And suddenly, what was once a spontaneous celebration of love becomes a social institution. The marriage certificate replaces the love letter. The wedding ring becomes a chain. And the woman who once looked at you with eyes full of passion now looks at you with the eyes of a wife, which is to say, with the eyes of ownership. Marriage is society's way of controlling love, of domesticating the wild energy that exists between a man and a woman. It is an attempt to make permanent what is by nature impermanent, to capture in a cage what can only exist in freedom. When you marry a woman, you are making a promise to love her forever, but love cannot be promised. Love is not something you do because you have made a commitment. Love is something that happens to you, something that arises spontaneously when the conditions are right. The moment you marry, you begin to take each other for granted. The woman becomes your wife, which means she becomes your possession, your property. She is no longer a mystery to be explored, but a known quantity, a familiar presence. And familiarity, as they say, breeds contempt. Not always contempt in the harsh sense, but a kind of deadness, a loss of aliveness, a fading of the spark that once made your heart race. Before marriage, every meeting was precious. You would count the hours until you could see her again. You would dress carefully, speak thoughtfully, listen attentively. You were on your best behavior because you knew that she could leave at any moment, that her presence in your life was a gift, not a guarantee. But after marriage, you relax. You stop trying. You assume she will always be there, so why make the effort? You begin to show her your worst side, your laziness, your irritability, your selfishness. And she does the same. A woman wants to be loved, not owned. She wants to be desired, not taken for granted. She wants to feel that you choose her every day, not that you are stuck with her because of a piece of paper signed years ago. When you marry her, you are telling her, in effect, that the chase is over, that you have captured her, that she is now yours. And something in her spirit rebels against this, even if she is not consciously aware of it. Look at the statistics. Look at how many marriages end in divorce, how many couples stay together out of habit or fear rather than love. Look at how many married people are lonely, how many feel trapped, how many dream of escape. This is not because people are bad or because they don't know how to love. It is because marriage itself is a flawed institution, one that goes against the very nature of love. Love needs space to breathe. It needs freedom to grow. It needs uncertainty to remain alive. When you know that someone will be there tomorrow no matter what you do today, you stop appreciating them. You stop seeing them. They become like the furniture in your house, always there, always the same, no longer worthy of your attention. But if you live with a woman without marrying her, if you remain together by choice rather than by obligation, everything changes. Every morning you wake up knowing that she could leave. Every evening you come home wondering if she will still be there. This is not a source of anxiety, but a source of aliveness. It keeps you present. It keeps you grateful. It keeps you in love. When there is no marriage, there is no ownership. The woman remains herself, free and independent. She is with you because she wants to be, not because she has to be. And this makes all the difference. Her love is a gift, freely given, not a duty, grudgingly performed. And your love for her remains fresh because you know that you must earn it every day. Of course, society will tell you that this is irresponsible, that you need the security of marriage, that you need the legal protections and social recognition that marriage provides. But what is this security worth if it kills the very thing it is meant to protect? What good is a marriage certificate if the love has died? What value is there in staying together out of obligation rather than desire? The truth is that marriage is not about love at all. It is about property, about inheritance, about social status. It is about making sure that children are legitimate and that wealth is passed down through the proper channels. These may have been important concerns in the past, but they have nothing to do with the spiritual connection between a man and a woman. If you truly love a woman, you will not try to possess her. You will not try to bind her to you with legal contracts and social conventions. You will love her in freedom, allowing her to be herself, allowing her to grow and change and evolve. And you will trust that if your love is real, she will stay with you not because she has to, but because she wants to. This requires courage. It requires a willingness to live with uncertainty, to accept that nothing is permanent, that everything is constantly changing. It requires you to let go of your need for security and control. But this is the only way to keep love alive. This is the only way to truly be loved by a woman. When a woman is free, when she knows that she can leave at any moment, she becomes more beautiful, more radiant, more alive. She is not weighed down by duty or obligation. She is not resentful or bitter. She is with you because being with you brings her joy, and this joy shines through in everything she does. And you, too, become more alive. You cannot take her for granted. You cannot become lazy or complacent. You must continue to court her, to woo her, to win her heart every day. This keeps you young, keeps you passionate, keeps you in love. Marriage is a death. It is the death of spontaneity, the death of mystery, the death of passion. It turns lovers into spouses, romance into routine, desire into duty. It is a social convenience, perhaps, but it is a spiritual disaster. If you want to be loved by a woman, truly loved, deeply loved, passionately loved, then do not marry her. Live with her in love, not in law. Be with her in freedom, not in bondage. Choose her every day, and let her choose you. This is the only way that love can remain alive, the only way that two people can continue to grow together rather than growing apart. The institution of marriage will not disappear overnight. It is too deeply embedded in our social structures, too protected by our laws and religions. But individuals can choose differently. They can choose love over security, freedom over convention, aliveness over deadness. They can choose to be together without the chains of marriage, to love without the burden of ownership. This is not easy. It goes against everything we have been taught. It challenges our deepest fears and insecurities. But it is the only way to keep love alive, the only way to truly honor the woman you love, the only way to create a relationship that is based on joy rather than obligation. So if you want to be loved by a woman, if you want her to look at you with eyes full of passion and wonder, if you want to keep the magic alive between you, then do not marry her. Love her instead. Love her freely, completely, without conditions or contracts. And trust that this love, this free and unconditional love, is stronger than any marriage certificate, more binding than any legal contract, more sacred than any religious ceremony. This is the path of the rebel, the path of those who dare to live authentically, who dare to follow their hearts rather than the dictates of society. It is not an easy path, but it is the only path that leads to true love, to real intimacy, to genuine connection. And in the end, this is all that matters. Not what society thinks, not what your family expects, not what the law requires, but what your heart knows to be true. Love is freedom. Marriage is bondage. Choose love.